ESM chief proposes using Euro's 500 billion crisis fund to finance defense across Eurozone. In Frankfurt on January 30, Pierre Gramina, the managing director of the European Stability Mechanism ESM, argued that the bloc's massive Euro's 430 billion crisis fund should be tapped to finance defense spending. He emphasized that the fund, originally created to rescue Eurozone economies during the debt crisis, can also provide credit lines for nations whose budgets are under strain, but whose financial health remains sound. Gramina warned that Europe faces heightened geopolitical risk, noting that rising defense costs demand a full-scale deployment of the ESM's resources. He suggested that loans could be offered without the strict economic reform conditions typically attached to emergency assistance, aiming to avoid any stigma linked to seeking help from a crisis relief instrument. The proposal would require the approval of all Eurozone members, including neutral states such as Austria, Cyprus, Malta and Ireland, because the ESM statutes do not currently mention defense. Gramina cited a defense support line concept previously floated by former Italian Premier Enrico Letta, which would allow borrowing up to 2% of a country's GDP at low rates. While the idea could boost the defense budgets of smaller members, particularly the Baltic states, that have already raised spending to around 5% of GDP after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, it also faces political hurdles. Germany, the EU's largest economy, would need to reverse its long-standing opposition to using the ESM for routine purposes. The mechanism would work much like the ESM's pandemic-era credit scheme, which remained largely unused. By allowing collective requests, the ESM could provide a discrete source of funds, helping countries avoid the perception that they are relying on a debt crisis safety net for military needs. Gramina's comments signal a shift toward repurposing the crisis fund as a strategic tool in Europe's broader effort to strengthen security and reduce reliance on external allies amid growing tensions with the United States and ongoing Russian aggression.